Okay, getting into Peter Attia's book, continuing the journey down there, looking at a chapter that is close to my heart, which is sleep. And Peter gives a couple examples of how terrifying the American medical system is. He describes in his residency years, which must have been, maybe some 20 years ago, but 110 hours of work per week. This does not leave a whole lot of time for everything else in life. And he describes actually fighting against a reduction in available work hours from 110 down to 80. To say, hey, we can only work 80 hours. And the reason being that if you did that, then that's 30 less hours of exposure per week. And this actually happened here in Australia as well. When we presumably in the past had 80-hour weeks reduced down to like 54 hours for doctors. And the problem has been not enough actual exposure to work. But that comes with a significant benefit in that the doctors, when they're working, are actually on point. He describes walking into theatre and falling asleep on the curtains just before he's about to do an operation. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not that excited to have the doctor fall asleep just before they're meant to do an operation on me. He also describes the effects of being so tired that he set an alarm for 30 minutes for a quick nap and woke up 6 hours later. Now, the risks of acute sleep deprivation are ones of injury, ones of driving, falling asleep and crashing. Now, this happens. This is significant. But what he touches upon is the effects of chronic sleep deprivation. I said this was close to my heart because my father was an obstetrician gynecologist, and an old school one. Like back in the day, they used to work pretty hard. 12 on for 14 days, so 2 days off every 2 weeks, and often 2, 3, even 4 deliveries per night. So he was chronically sleep deprived and developed dementia or early stage dementia by 65, late stage dementia by 74, and death at 77. And this was not great. Like, I'm 46 right now. I've got a couple of gray hairs somewhere. There are a few. I'm 46. And so 65 is 19 years away. Sounds like a long time, but it's not. You know that. I know that. The way that time's going right now, suddenly we're there. But what's interesting is that the risk of dementia goes up and the risk of insulin resistance goes up, that the effects of chronic sleep deprivation are significant. And we live in a society that not only is ultra stressed, but is also cutting sleep. So the recommendation is 7.5, 8 hours. Many people are choosing to run on 6 hours. Then you add in stress. Then you add in an obesogenic environment. Then you add in alcohol and stress management, poor stress management methodologies. And suddenly what you are doing is putting yourself at significant risk of long-term health disability. And the worst thing is, I can keep you alive, but your quality of life sucks. That's not what you want. What you want is habits that are installed now, data that you have so that you can know that you're on track, and then making those investments into each day so that you are investing for longevity. Most likely, once you're after 40, you're going to live. You're going to be fine, but your risk shifts from death due to acute illness, which happens rarely, but it does happen, into the risk of chronic illness. And this is what we're facing as an epidemic in the West. People are getting fatter, people are sleeping less, people are getting way more stressed, people are unhappy, and the consequences on this is devastating. It's no good. This is not something that you want. You do not want to be stuck in a room at 70 years old with 2 bung knees, unable to breathe, with diabetes, got to inject yourself with insulin. This is a very depressing and horrible way to go, because then you are able to stay alive, but your quality of life is terrible. What you want is to be able to live well, 70, 80, even 90, perhaps even to 100. But this doesn't happen if you are chronically sleep deprived. So it's a very interesting topic. And if you have multiple risk factors, so not only sleep deprivation, but poor metabolic control, stress management's poor, all of these things will lead to significant risk of chronic disease in long term. So what are we going to do? We're going to get you habits that work, going to get you data that works, get sleep on point, allowing for more sleep. I'll give you one tip straight off the bat. My favorite thing in the whole world, Sleep Master. This is an eye pillow that I learned from Tim Ferriss, and it is epic, particularly good for long haul flights, even if you're in business or first. Drop on the Sleep Master and it is wonderful. The hidden difference is that there's a Velcro strap at the back instead of a rubber band. Does not cut into the scalp. I get headaches really badly if I have things pressing difficultly or like hard into the back of my head. But the Sleep Master is wonderful. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to go surfing. My son's out there already. Still suffering northerlies, but I nabbed one of the few car parks at Tellos, which was awesome. Super stoked. Just out of nowhere, this car in front of me pulls out. I'm like, yes, baby. Thank you so much. All right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you have an awesome day. Catch you next time.